Okie doke, guys. We have a jam-packed episode for you today. This is going to be your daily cryptocurrency market update. We are going to be doing really one of, or two things in this video. We're going to be starting things off by looking at some events taking place in regards to potential players dumping Bitcoin, and the US government is one. And also we have set for this month, and we have covered all of this previously. We've also covered the fact that actually the government is a larger Bitcoin holder than the likes of Michael Saylor, and actually that Mt.Gox will be releasing their Bitcoin to their stolen from customers at some point, and that all seems to be coming to a head this month. We have that on the back end of extremely important macroeconomic data, the CPI, and of course the Fed rate decision, which we're going to be talking about. We did give you some pre-warners to watch this yesterday, because this essentially is now looking at a 50% over a 25, or a 50 basis points over a 25. We're going to be talking about that and really some of Jerome's comments from yesterday, and then we'll relate it all to the Bitcoin chart. So we have a lot to get through. We're going to be talking about Silk Road. We're going to be talking about the US government, how they've moved some funds onto Coinbase and are actually looking to potentially start dumping their Bitcoin. And also you have this happening at the same time as Mt.Gox set to pay out this month. And Bitcoin, you can see, isn't doing too well. But I think this is more for sort of elsewhere reasons, external reasons, like, you know, the kind of macro than anything. However, it's going to be interesting to see what happens if the US government do indeed decide to dump Bitcoin and the creditors of Mt.Gox get their Bitcoin back and dump it. Remember, guys, you also have the Shanghai upgrade coming out for Ethereum, which essentially is going to be you are going to be able to take your staked and locked Ethereum and have it unstaked, and it will become liquid. I think there's about 16 million Ethereum. Some of it's been locked up for 2 years. So we'll see what the kind of result of all of that is. I'll probably do a deeper dive on that. So jam-packed video, guys. Strap yourselves in. If you're only interested in one or the other, I'll leave timestamps. We're going to cover the sort of news surrounding Bitcoin and what may be happening with it in regards to the government and Mt.Gox. And then we'll get into the sort of macro Fed talk and everything else. So Silk Road Bitcoin for sale. The US government linked address transfers $1 billion in BTC. $1 billion. US law enforcement agencies have confiscated thousands of Bitcoin from the Silk Road over the years, and a significant chunk of it has been auctioned from time to time. Over 50,000 Bitcoin worth $1 billion were moved from multiple wallets connected to the United States government, law enforcement agency seizures, and transferred to new wallets, with some moved to Coinbase on the 8th of March. This is breaking news, guys. According to data shared by on-chain analyst from PeckShield, 3 transfers were made from the US law enforcement agency wallets. These wallets held nearly 51,000 BTC, seized by the US agency from the Silk Road marketplace in November 2021. The confiscated Bitcoin was consolidated into 2 wallet addresses. So Coinbase could have won an auction and be holding this, or the US government could be looking to dump it, or there could have been some sort of OTC deal. I doubt very much the government. If you understand how markets work, this is the thing, guys, and I really do encourage people to subscribe to my channel, because I will share everything that I know with you, right? And people do not market sell 51,000 Bitcoin. That just does not happen. If you market sold 51,000 Bitcoin, your Bitcoin would be back down at 14, 13K, potentially even lower. I mean, look at the daily volumes, which we don't have for Bitcoin. And it's probably, you know, I don't really know what it is, but if you market sold that amount of Bitcoin, it'd be pretty catastrophic. So they won't do that. You'd also get a bad price for it, because you'd move the needle so far on that exchange that, you know, it would suck. So maybe there's some sort of OTC deal gone on here or already happened. But we do know that the US government, which allegedly have 144,000 Bitcoin, are actually looking to maybe move some of this to Coinbase and potentially offload it. So out of these 3 transfers are major. The majority appears to be internal transfers. However, approximately, so it's only 9 30,861 BTC that was actually sent to Coinbase. The other 30,000 BTC were transferred, and the 9,000 BTC transferred. So out of the 50,000 that they're moving, it's only that amount that's gone to Coinbase. Okay. And this is sort of showing it you. So it's not as alarming as it seems. However, the US government do literally have the power, if they wanted to crash Bitcoin. But we'll see. And I mean, why would the US government do that? Well, I can think of a list of reasons. You also have this month, Bitcoin is down 5% ahead of major Mt.Gox payout. Bitcoin experienced a 5% drop in the past week as traders speculate that the up-and-coming creditor payout from the Mt.Gox, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Okay, Bitcoin is not down because people are worried about Mt.Gox. Bitcoin is down because of the sort of macro, guys. Yeah, we've been tracking this day in, day out. Bitcoin will only go down because of the Mt.Gox thing if the Mt.Gox people decide they want to sell it. And not all of them will. So Mt.Gox exchange could impact the cryptocurrency market. The civil rehabilitation trial surrounding the Tokyo-based Bitcoin exchange has concluded, and payouts to creditors are scheduled to begin this Friday, March the 10th. However, there are fears that the 142,000 Bitcoin to be released to creditors could be dumped on the market as soon as they become available. Yeah, I would say there's going to be quite a bit of dumping, actually. It's just whether they get bought up or not. The magnitude of a possible $3 billion Bitcoin payout has led crypto analysts to warn of a possible market shock where recipients dump their newly acquired Bitcoin en masses after taking back ownership of the coins. It's likely, to be quite honest with you, that these guys are going to dump their Bitcoin. To be quite honest, because they've got it back for the first. They're probably very traumatized with the whole experience, certainly having watched Bitcoin get to where it's got to over the past, since they got hacked. So it was 2014, Mt.Gox, 2015, something like that. So this is a genuine threat that could see Bitcoin's price sell off sharply. But once it's done that, this is still the plan until it isn't. So we could expect a sharp drop with this and then that continuation. This is kind of a bit of a nothing burger until we see what exactly is happening with that 9,000 Bitcoin that's on Coinbase, and if it could be an OTC deal, could be a list of things. So these are two things to watch out for. You also have the ETH Shanghai upgrade, which is coming out. You need to pay attention to this. It's going to be there's never a dull moment in the crypto space. I am the luckiest man alive to be in the position I'm at, where I can literally be full-time crypto, because there's always something. There's always something to cover. There's always something weird and wonderful going on. And that's what we try and bring to you guys with these daily cryptocurrency market updates. Let's talk about the boring stuff. Let's talk about the macro. Let's talk about Jerome Powell's comments. We've been tracking this daily because essentially since the start of February, we've said there's a repricing going on. Okay, and that's a repricing of where the market thinks interest rates are going. We now have interest rates over 6%. At the start of February, they were just over 5%. So there's nearly been a whole point. And that seems valid after some of Jerome Powell's comments yesterday. He said a number of things. The main gist was, look, we're going to continue to fight inflation at whatever costs. And he was challenged on the unemployment rate. Some were saying, okay, could get over 10% if you continue to do what you're doing. My personal take is actually I think that markets may only get this 25 instead of the 50, even though it's massively priced in and seems likely. My reasoning for that is we may get a slightly lower CPI, okay? And the Fed, I think, is running out of runway. There was questions given to him about the debt ceiling. He said we're going to just have to up the ceiling. The Fed is on a knife's edge with what they're doing right now. You over tighten, you make yourself look silly. You under tighten, you make yourself look silly. And what they're doing, I think they've already over tightened, to be honest. I think they're going to break something with the rates that they're on if they keep them up for long enough. And I think a pivot is coming a lot sooner than people anticipate. However, never underestimate stupidity, right? Because, this was the jump that we saw yesterday in terms of probability of a 50 basis point. Shot through the roof after his speech. And he didn't really say anything that was out of the ordinary to what he's already said. But that was the gist of it, that he's going to continue to do it. He's going to continue to up rates, multiple, or plural, sorry. And that, if he sees fit, he'll do a 50 in the next rate hike. But that's going to depend on the CPI and a number of other things. But one thing that was also brought up in that sort of testimony was just how much pressure these rate hikes are putting on everything. And he seemed to largely ignore it, but also acknowledge the fact that, look, we'll just have to up the debt ceiling and just devalue debt, i.e. money, some more. So this is interesting. No exit ramp for the Fed until it creates a recession, economists say. Fed Chairman Powell told lawmakers on Tuesday that stronger than expected economic data in recent weeks suggests the ultimate level of interest rates is likely to be higher than previously anticipated. So look to the non-farm payroll on Friday. This is T.S. Lombard, chief U.S. economist Stephen Blitz suggested the U.S. Federal Reserve cannot estimate its rate ceiling until the economy enters a recession. Goldman Sachs raised its terminal rates target forecast to 5.5 to 5.75 on Tuesday in light of Powell's testimony, in line with the current market pricing according to the CME group data. So I think this is the CME Fed Watch. You can see it's shot up. This is what we got to watch. BlackRock said the Federal Reserve could hike interest rates to a peak of 6%. I'd like to see what everything looks like when we've got a 6% interest rate. I mean, it's going to be insane, guys. But we will see. You know, it's very interesting. It's certainly always an interesting time to be alive, if nothing else. And we'll see what the kind of outcome of everything is. Bitcoin seems to be holding up quite well. The main threat for me is Mt.Gox and those holders getting their Bitcoin back, potentially dumping it. Not that fussed about the government, because it's very small in sort of comparison with Mt.Gox. But I do think you are going to get sell pressure when these guys start getting their tokens back. I don't think they're all hodlers, to be honest. And I think after holding Bitcoin for as long as they have, they'll likely want to get rid of it, certainly if it's profitable. There's a number of interesting passages from Powell in his testimony. In other words, Powell said the charts play no role whatsoever in declining monetary policy, so stop posting it and asking about it. It does not matter. Oh, we have no debt problem either. Yeah. So how much interest does the US Treasury pay on its debt? Look at this, absolutely shooting through the roof. And this is why I think they pivot a lot sooner than people think, because this is unsustainable. You are going to literally, you either have high inflation and you deal with it, or you completely crash the entire monetary system. That's the tightrope that they're on, basically. And falling either side brings those. Right now they're balancing, but you are going to get one thing that's going to tip it either way. So that's really all I've got for you in this video, guys. Kind of a negative one, but we got to deal with these things. We will see. I still expect more upside for the cryptocurrency market, genuinely. And, that's in the face of everything going on right now. The dollar's been very strong. Yields are now up at 5%. Obviously, again, just really looking at implied rates. Stock market saw a bit of a roll yesterday. Dollar just boofed. We did actually say this looks good. It looks like the dollar's breaking out of the floor here. But we'll see what happens. This could have been a blow off. We'll be watching it and bringing you the news daily. So if you've enjoyed this content, guys, like is always greatly appreciated. So as a comment, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents. See you in the next one.